welcome back to another episode of the Linux Guide. Today we are going to be talking about PHP My Admin. So this is a follow-up to a video I did on setting up a LAMP stack on a server that's on the same server that you're looking at right now. And today I'm going to be setting up a way to interact with the SQL database we installed on this server more easily. The first thing we want to do is we want to pull up our terminal and we want to make sure we're up to date. And so long as we're up to date, we're ready to go install some packages. So we're going to need several modules for PHP My Admin. So let's go ahead and sudo apt install PHP My Admin, which will be the first package. We also want PHP MB-string, which is a module for managing non-ASCII stuff. We're also going to need PHP zip, PHP-GD, PHP-JSON, and finally PHP curl. And these last ones are pretty self-explanatory, so I'm going to leave them where they are. If you need an explanation, let me know. I'll try to explain them better. But we need all of these modules, so let's go ahead and install them. Hit Y to continue. And we're pretty quickly going to be faced with some choices here with the installation. So you can choose what kind of web server you have. We have an Apache 2. You can move this cursor around with the arrow keys and you can select with the space bar. And then to get out of the menu over to the OK, you can go hit Tab and then hit Enter. You're also going to be asked if you should configure the database for PHP My Admin with dbconfig common. You're going to want to do this unless you're some kind of advanced user. Even I do this, so I'm going to go ahead and do yes. So now we need our MySQL application password for PHP My Admin. Try to think of something secure. Mine's just going to be password for demonstration purposes, and it will ask you to confirm the password. So we have two more things to do for this step, and that's going to be to specifically enable MB-string. So we're going to do PHP enmod MB-string. And now we're going to do systemctl, sudo systemctl, restart Apache 2. And this will restart our web server. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to configure our MySQL server to actually allow the use of PHP My Admin. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so now that we are in our MySQL database, let's go ahead and write out a long string. And I'm going to write it out and then I'll explain what it does. So this command right here is going to check some authentication for basically the users that exist right now. So let's go ahead and look at this. And we'll see that root has everything and PHP My Admin is there, but it's not properly adjusted. So the next thing we need to do is we need to actually alter the user root. So let's go ahead and do that. So basically what this command is going to do is going to alter the user root on localhost to be identified with a caching password that we can specify here. So I'm going to use the password, but you're going to want to specify here a much stronger root password than what I've provided. Now, if we scroll back up and grab that command we ran earlier, you'll see we've now added this last line. This has changed our permissions somewhat in PHP My Admin. So at this point, we should actually be able to exit the command line interface and go back to our web browser. And we're going to go to localhost / PHP My Admin. And here is our new PHP My Admin web server. So let's go ahead and log in. I'm going to log in as root. And this is our PHP My Admin interface. This is way easier to interact with than that command line, as you saw, which was just a lot of confusing and difficult to type commands. It's written in C and it's very picky about syntax, so you have to be very careful when you're editing things in this. However, once you've installed PHP My Admin, you've got a much easier way to actually interact with stuff. So you can go ahead and easily create new user accounts here. You can give them specific privileges, and you can also easily add new databases right here. I can just click create. You can manipulate them also pretty easily just by clicking on them and doing whatever you need. There's the MySQL host one, but you can add multiple tables here to do all sorts of things with MySQL right here in a web server that's actually hosted right with your database, which is nice because you don't have to use a third-party piece of software like dbeaver or anything like that. All right, so we're going to use this in another episode coming up on how to install PWeGo, which is really just how to set up a web server on your LAMP stack. But this is an optional step for those of you who are looking for an easier way to interact with your databases on your web server. As always, thank you for watching The Linux Guy. Make sure to follow us on LBRY and BitChute. Send us a tip if you feel so inclined, and we will see you in the next one.